Okay, hello, this is Sharon Pierce. The date is October 20th, 2024, and this is for NDE Near Desert Experience, Water, Water, Water. Just an update because the atmospheric rivers are in full swing. I'm going to bring up something here, sharing, and this is the first item I'm going to share. This map, if you've seen this podcast before, I use the congressional districts as to distinguish areas. This is really the desert right here, but the congressional districts are already formatted, so it's easy to talk about whether goes the water and water districts. Some water districts may cover multiple congressional districts. There are many water districts in California, but there's been a forecast out this week that says the atmospheric rivers are about ready to begin. It looks like it's very likely to be a very wet winter here in California again. The rains may start up in Central California sooner than November. This is October 20th. It tried to rain one day last week, not much, but it's getting cold. And so they expect to be heavy deluges in Northern California in November, coming down to Central California, November and December, and Southern California in beginning in January. But right now there is a massive flooding event in, I'll just go to it, it's not in California, it's in Vancouver, British Columbia. I don't know if I can go to it. It's not this one. Is it this one? I'd like to find it. I'm going to pause. Okay. Now, that's what I want to resume. All right. Have I resumed? It's difficult to say. You are screen sharing. This is British Columbia. Vancouver. It's a deluge, and that's what atmospheric rivers look like when they take over. Metro Vancouver. This was actually yesterday into today. Just watch this for a second. It's going to go down the hillside.
My work is flooded.
It goes on and on this way. They're beginning to get the same thing in Great Britain. People are out there, even out and to drink coffee together and walking around. All right, I'm going to stop this for a second. Okay, so I'm back here, but I'm going to...
Metro Vancouver hit with massive flooding, road closures on the day of BC.
Alrighty. Now, here we are. So that's already up north, and it'll start to come down. It'll start to come down through Oregon and into California. In Britain and in Europe, they've had a hurricane, Hurricane Ashley. It really hit in Scotland, but it's hitting all of England yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I'm going to now go to share the screen and show you where. Okay. I want to set this up. Here it is. Same thing again as in British Columbia. So this is where they expect the flooding. It actually did a lot of damage up in Scotland, but here, Manchester, Birmingham, Mid-Country, Bristol, over along the Bristol Channel, along the south coast. This is in Dunstan, Oxfordshire. This is a town somewhere, Grangetown, Sunderland. That was yesterday. Rain continued to rain. So it's all up in this area. This is all the places where they expect flooding of the rivers around Manchester. And these are the names of the rivers. But it's an inundating river. Now I'm going to stop sharing and just to say that there is some news also from here in California, and I want to get into this. That's not the one. Hold on a second. Stop sharing. I do want to go back and forth on this. What happened to it? Let me see. We're going to say the California hydrology report. I did have it ready, but it has disappeared from this screen. California Water Watch. All right, let's get this up. Now, I'm going to lower this, and then I'm going to, here I am again. Well, it's hard to hold this in place while I do this, but I'm learning how to do this. And what I want to do is share screen. And this is what I want to share. Pressing on with this. This is the California hydrology update as of September 30th. Precipitation. The end of September concludes water year 2024. I'm going to try something else here. Okay, so the statewide accumulated precipitation is at 100% with almost 24 inches total through the end of September. It goes from September to up to September. This is annual precipitation accumulation. San Joaquin River region has accumulated over 25 inches for the water year, which is 93%. Central Coast, 24.5 inches with 121% of average. Tulare Lake region is 91% of average, and the South Coast is 122% of average. So the seasonal outlook covering the period of October 24th through the end of December 24th, 2024 indicates 33 to 40% chance below normal precipitation for Southern California and equal chances of below, near, or above normal for the rest of California. So this is 2023, and this is 2024 for water. The statewide average temperature for the end of September was 71 degrees, which is about 4.5 degrees above the historical average for this time of year, so it has been warm. Reservoirs. Statewide reservoir storage at the end of September was 112%, so they are collecting. You see all these green areas? That's telling us how much above average or above the reservoirs are and the other collection storage areas. Most reservoirs have near or above average storage for this time of year. Reservoir storage in the Central Coast remained well above average at the end of September. And that's on the coast. Major water supply reservoirs have made steady releases necessary for water allocations. Most reservoirs are near or above historical average. Major flood control reservoirs continue to have a higher top of conservation level, which will gradually be lowered in the coming months to have space available to hold potential runoff. They still don't have enough places to store the water when it comes down, so it runs off. It causes landslides, leaves the ground unstable in the mountainous regions, and California loses trillions of gallons of water back to the sea. State and people would like to have more and more ability to save that water, to go into the aquifers, the ground wells, the dry lakes, places like Death Valley, just anywhere where they can store, regular lakes, anywhere where they can store the water, because this is the time when the water is returning. That's my point here at this podcast. The water is returning. It's not just a pattern that we've been used to all these years. This is the time historically, I believe, when it's prophesied that the water is returning, and that is because the glaciers are melting. And when the glaciers they're filling the oceans with water, the water's warm. They go down through the Atlantic, and they have other slight variations on that. They come up the Pacific. Waters from the east, far east, mix in with those waters coming up, filling up the Pacific. The warm water evaporates into the air, creating long rivers of watery clouds, which come over land and dump the water in what are called atmospheric rivers. It's not a theory, it's a fact. Now, snowpack. The snowpack season for water year 2024 concluded in June. The Sierra Nevada snowpack grows until reaching a peak volume around April 1st, and thereafter begins to melt. So that's the pattern of it. Now down here we have stream flow. Oh, doesn't that look nice? All that green. And this is Nevada right here. Stream flow for about 55% of locations across California was at a normal flow rate near the end of September. About 29% of stream flow locations were flowing greater than average for this time of year, while about 16% were flowing below normal. So flow for major rivers remained near base flow levels. Figure down here shows from California Nevada River forecast the percent of normal for this water year's observed stream flow. Majority of rivers are near or above normal flow. Again, the majority of rivers were near or above normal flow, so you have to be thinking of flooding. Groundwater. While the state's surface water reservoirs were replenished from storms and runoff in water year 2023, groundwater basins are much slower to respond and are still recovering from past decades of drought and significant pumping. Groundwater levels, especially in shallow aquifers, continue to show improvement. Recently measured monitoring wells show groundwater levels in 23% of the wells that are monitored below normal, 39% are normal now, and 38% are above normal. So they're just replenishing season after season. So that's it for this hydrology report. And I am going to stop sharing this and come back to here. Now I will look to see, do I have any more that I want to share? No, I don't see any more. So just to say, to wrap this up, this is where we are on October 20th, 2024. The congressional districts and the voting and all of that for the election on November 5th are seemingly moving flowingly along, just like the streams are flowing. The ballots went out, actually the ballots went out like October 4th, and I received mine on October 7th, mailed it back on October 8th, and I received my alert through email that my ballot had been received and it had been counted. Done and dusted, as they say in England. It is. So, but still the actual election day is going to be about 16 days from now. And I would venture to say that it looks like we're going to have a lot of questions answered on that election night. But that's all I'm going to say about that. I may come back and do another report on the congressional districts if I find that anything looks as if it's not pretty much what everyone expected from the beginning of primary season here in California. So for that, I'm going to bring it to an end and say thank you for listening to Near Desert Experience.